Thiccasaurs podcast.
Episode 101. Welcome back, listeners, to the Thiccasaurs podcast. I am your hostess for today, and I have with me Anna,
Molly, and Melissa.
Yay! So, 101. Goodness gracious, can you believe that? Not me. But anyway, so I am discussing the topic of teenagers because, believe it or not, I will be having a teenager. My oldest is turning 13.
You feel old?
I do feel old, actually, yes.
She kind of struggles saying 13.
She's in denial.
A little bit in denial, but it's kind of, it's hard to deny when you're looking at him.
I mean, you see him nowadays, yeah.
Yeah, you look at him and it's kind of like, oh my God, he's not that little kid who's like, that's Uncle Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah, or that.
Joker! He's all like, yeah. Maniacal sounding.
Oh my God, we're going to embarrass him so bad with those videos later. But yeah, I just wanted to, chit chat about it a little bit because, again, I'm kind of in shock and denial that I will be having a 13-year-old. And the fact that I've been a mom for 13 years now. And it's like, wow. He just finished 7th grade. He is going to 8th grade. And good Lord, I feel old AF. Ooh, what do you girls think being his aunties? And he's turning 13 like that.
I'm just like, damn, it was fast.
For real. It's like,
Yeah. Because I think about it, and I'm like, when Liam was born, that was when, like, me and my ex were together. And I'm like, Melissa, that could have been you. Like, that's scary. Jesus.
yeah, it's still amazing how it just all happened. Because, again, the woman's body is incredible. Because thinking, especially now that he's like 13 and how tall he is now, it's like, oh my God, he came out of me.
You sure did.
He came
Out your hole.
Yes, out my personal hole. But yeah, it's kind of surreal because, like I said, I don't know. I just never. It's kind of dumb sounding, but I never imagined my kids becoming teenagers. I just imagine them staying little. I mean, I know all moms do that, but I think it's because being the oldest and how I was always in charge of taking care of you guys when you guys were like little toddlers and stuff like that. That's just all I pictured my kids to be and only be. So it was, it's kind of eye-awakening watching your own kid go through those stages, and now he's becoming like a teenager. So it's kind of like, oh my God, what do I do? Because it's like, I didn't have to worry about you guys when you guys turned 13. Whereas with Liam, since he's mine, I'm kind of like, what do I do?
It's kind of like us, like, what do we get him?
Yes,
Like,
that too.
what do you like? Like, you actually have things that you like besides, like cartoon stuff, and
Typical,
it's like,
like toys and
yeah, you have a personality.
whatnot.
I think
You know?
that's hard for this generation too, because they don't watch cartoons the way we did. You know, everything is so like fast tracked and like what's the word? Instant gratification and stuff like that. So they don't know how to actually wait and listen to the stories or watch the stories unfold and stuff like that. So it's hard to pinpoint what their interests are because they're constantly bouncing from one thing to another. So you never know what it is that they're actually fixated on to be their favorite thing.
Yeah. This reminds me, have you seen that trailer where, I don't think it's a trailer, but I think it's like a meme video, and they're like movies in like 2040. And like this girl's sitting in the movie theater, and one half the screen is the movie, and the other half of the screen is somebody doing some type of ASMR.
Yes.
I was like, oh my god, I can't. I can't.
It's exactly like that because that's how my boys are. They'll be watching or doing something, but then there's something else going on that they're like watching back and forth, and I'm like, one, no wonder you guys are overstimulated, and two, it's like no wonder you guys don't retain information very well. You know, because you guys are constantly having 2-3 different things going, and it's kind of like, why? It's like if you need more stimulation or something for your brain to do, then I can find ways to do that besides watching 2 different things at the same time.
That's why we made Rowan do at Grandma's on Friday. He's like, I'm bored. And I go, you want to help Auntie peel some chicken? Okay. So we made him
Peel chicken.
peel chicken, and he was just sitting there gossiping and talking with us in the kitchen.
Aw. Oh my god,
I
that
just make them
boy.
do chores. You bored? Okay. We're gonna do chores.
They'll do chores with y'all, but when it's their parents tell them to do it, they're like, I don't want to do that. And it's kind of, then don't complain that you're bored. You know? Because, yeah, it's like they're constantly looking for some type of stimulation to where they get bored. You know? And it's mainly, my Rowan, he's always like that. So, but backtracking to my oldest, Liam, 13. He's 13, but the only thing I can think of right now that he's like really, really into is his Marvel Rivals game that he's been obsessed with past few weeks. Because literally that's all he does. Whenever he has free time, you can always find him on his dad's computer playing Marvel Rivals.
Well, at least that's better than
having 2 different consoles. Because usually he has like the Switch on.
Oh no, he still does that.
Yeah, I saw
He
him.
usually has his phone or his dad's
Popped
iPad,
up.
and he has like some type of YouTube video going.
No. I'd be like, you only can choose one, boy.
or like he's finally venturing out from 2 different games. Is what I'm saying. Because for a while he was on, kind of like what Chow says, like with me, with my TV shows, it's always the same ones, like on loop.
Yeah, comfort.
Comfort,
Yes.
yeah. And so he would always play his same comfort games over and over and over again. And so for him to finally start playing a different game, I'm kind of like, oh, okay. So
Yes.
you like those types of games.
Well, I was kind of curious how he ventured out. Like, did his friends suggest it? Like, what made him try, or did Chow
I think
ask him?
Yeah, I think Chow just asked him and like finally like made him play. And then I think later on he found out that some of his friends play it too. So, but to be honest, I don't remember like hearing him like communicate to anybody during the game. But maybe that's because he didn't have his headset at the time. I don't know.
Probably.
He was excited that he got that headset. He was like,
It's still in the box. He hasn't even opened it yet.
Okay, see, the thing with him, like, that kind of reminds me of, like, me asking him that what shoes do you want, and I'll buy you shoes for your birthday because I know that you really liked the shoes I bought you for Christmas. And his excuse was, he said, no, I don't want you to. And I was like, why? And he's like, because they're too nice. And I'm like, it's okay to have nice things.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, they're too nice. I don't want you to spend that much money on it because it's too nice. And I'm going to get it dirty. And I'm like, it's okay to get it dirty. That's
What shoes are for.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think he has like the eldest mentality.
Yeah.
Like he has to kind of always like conserve or, you know, like think about other people. And
Yeah.
like you guys don't make him think that way. It's just, I feel like being the oldest, you have that mindset. Like, I'm going to, you know, like, oh, I don't need nice things. You know, other people need it. I don't need it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And so that's why it's probably still in the box. It's because it's really, really nice. Because I think when he got it, we were like, oh, you got the nice one. You got the Zelda one. The expensive one. And I think that's
That
probably
kinda
why,
triggered him.
yeah, he doesn't want to use it.
That's why you gotta pull the Arthur card. Remember when Arthur had a really big, nice bike, and the time he wanted to ride it, he sat on it and it broke, and he was already an old man. You don't want to be like Arthur.
Maybe you guys have to open it for him.
Yeah.
And just hand it to him.
yeah, for me, that's what I normally do. I usually either open it for him or I just go ahead and buy him the shoes and then I make him try it on.
Yeah.
Be like, here, try these on so I can see if it fits you correctly. Usually I make that excuse is to make sure that it fits. And he'll be like, okay, and you put his feet in and stuff like that.
Maybe you're going to have to take him out and have him try on to see.
Yeah,
if
that's what I was
fits
going to
you.
do. I was going to take him to the store. Because I was going to buy him. Because I was like, I was going to get you the same exact shoes that you got for Christmas, but like a different color. And he was like, no, those are too nice. I don't want to get it dirty. And it's white and it's going to get dirty. That's why I like black shoes, because they can get dirty whenever. And I'm like, you can clean your shoes, Liam.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have to
It's okay.
tell him, or at least like when you get it for him, then Michelle's going to have to tell him.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, you know, you can deserve nice things too. You know, you can have nice things. And
Yes, please help me encourage that. 'cause
Yeah,
I tell
wear
him that all the time. I was like, you deserve nice things too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
But I think like just kind of like with kids, they learn better by actions. So
Yeah.
we're going to have to just show him.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was going to do, is probably just take him to like some type of shoe store and have him pick out his shoes.
Just take him to Dick's Sporting Goods because they have
Yeah.
that whole left side that's all just shoes.
Oh, we haven't been in Dick's Sporting Goods yet.
I haven't either.
The new
It's
side,
pretty big, yeah.
Yeah.
well, like I'll get lost how big it is.
Yeah. No, not really.
Yeah.
And then on the other side is like there's activities and there's like a little mini putt area.
Oh.
And then there's like
Are they usually busy?
no, it's
No?
like dead.
Aw. Maybe I should take
So I
the
was
boys there to go put. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one
Idea.
they have like a little putt area. Or it's not like an actual like mini golf course, but there's like the little holes that they can just throw in the thing. But they do have like the golf simulators.
Mm.
The simulators in the back, and they have I think a few battering ring
Battle.
Batting.
batting ranges, whatever they're called.
I was like,
Cages.
what are you saying?
Batting cages. There you
I
go.
was like, come on. In my
That,
head, I
and then
was
they
like, come on,
have
Molly,
yeah,
you
and then
got
they
it.
have
You got
the
it.
they do have a rock climbing on the right side
Oh.
too, and then a few other stuff. I think.
Oh,
if
I
remember
know what I'm
correctly.
doing with my boys
Yeah.
during the week.
Yeah, so you can just take them there, and there's a few things that they can look at.
Okay.
I don't know if you have to like pay, but they're it's always there. So and it's like usually not busy, but since it's the summer, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
As much as like you aunties do for him and like the nephews, I think it's also important that the uncles do something with them too, because this is like the most impressionable age that he's at right now.
That I feel like the uncles kind of have to step in.
Yes.
Yes, and help him find his interests and explore stuff, you know?
Because I remember like around this age is when I started to kind of like really be open to a lot of things. And then like this kind of like reached out to like my aunties and uncles, or like kind of observed them. And I'm like, oh, like I guess I'm old enough and I can do this too. So
Yeah, because I was telling him, I was like, maybe you should try some other like games, like where you're able to play with like us, your aunties and uncles, like Apex or like
Repo.
Repo or Helldivers or whatnot, just to open his interest.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, Marvel Rival is pretty similar to Apex. It's just that Apex is with guns.
People in
and
Apex is mean
and
though.
then Rivals is with powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then that's how you learn.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, they're just mean. So it's better to play with
A team.
a team
good
that you
team.
know.
Oh, okay.
That's
okay.
what I'm saying.
Yes.
Instead of him going in by himself because
I mean, he could if
They're
he
mean.
just wanted to try it out.
yeah. But get prepared to get yelled at.
I mean, he's on our server, so
He
Yeah.
plays Marvel Rivals, so there's a lot of people who play.
But I don't think they actually communicate, or he doesn't communicate with them or anything.
Well, you don't have to. I think on the other games too.
Yeah.
I just want to see how he thinks when we play with him, like how he figures things out.
All I know is that when we play Fortnite with him, he's always like going off on his own, and I'm like, bro, wait for me. Like,
It's
dude,
a team for a reason.
yeah, we gotta wait on each other.
I
Can't just
know.
walk off.
I think that like they're so used to doing things on their own because
Yeah.
Solo games,
my
yeah.
niece is the same.
Yeah.
Like we'll come in and then I'm like, where'd you go? And she goes, oh, I'm like 2 houses down over here. And so I think they're just used to that and they need to learn teamwork.
Yeah, I'm just like, bro, you can't just
Yeah.
leave your teammate like that.
We gotta
That's-
teach him.
That's another thing I've noticed about this generation. They're not very keen on teamwork or like working together. And it's kind of like,
Well, I mean, this society is very individual, like listic, like the mindset.
Yeah.
Is not like I think like when we were younger, when technology wasn't as accessible, we had to rely on like other people.
Yes.
But right now, it's a lot of like self-sufficient stuff that they don't have. Like these kids these days, most of them don't have soft skills, like learn how to talk with people or be empathetic. So
it's so sad.
it's okay. They can learn.
I know they can learn, but it's like, because like with my boys, since they're always needing like some type of activity, I'm wanting to put them in like some type of sport.
Yeah.
But then like for Liam, he doesn't like being in a team sport because he hates having to rely on people who will fail him. Or like he just feels that way, like they don't do what they're supposed to do, so it pisses him off type thing. That's why he hates group projects.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you think you hate group projects? No, he loathes them. Because he, like us, he's usually the one who does all the work. You know? And he absolutely despises that. So anytime there's any type of like teamwork or talking about a sport that has a team, he's just kind of like, no.
Sorry, Molly. I interrupted you earlier. What were you gonna say?
About what?
Oh, I guess you forgot your train of thought.
I was like,
I don't know when.
Because when we were talking earlier, you were talking, and then I like stopped. Okay. Then you lost your thought.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay, I'll just double check. It's funny that you say that about Liam because thinking about it, like I always say it on this podcast that I'm like such a rule follower and that my friends kept calling me like goody two shoes because I follow the rules. And so like, is it that he doesn't want to break the rules? Like, I'm just curious because that's what I was like. I'm like very in my head. I thought I'm type A. I'm going to follow the rules. Blah, 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 you know. And then I was very angry at the world that everybody else didn't follow the rules. And I was frustrated.
I think he is like that, but it kind of goes back to him being the oldest, because with him being, you know, the first kid, whatever, you know, we taught him certain ways, or there was like rules to this and this and that. You have to do it this way because of that. Da, da, da. And so, yeah, I think we kind of implemented that type A energy to him. So when it comes to group projects or team stuff like that, he does get frustrated when they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So kind of like if you're supposed to be focusing on this subject, but then you have like teammates who are just like goofing about and being idiots, then yeah, he's going to get pissed off. Be like, hey, we need to do this and this and that.
Yeah.
You know? Or like if he's playing soccer and stuff like that, he'd be like, no, you're supposed to pass it to him so he can get into the goal. Da, 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 da. Trying to control the situation, you know, type thing. So It's kind of like I'm like, boy, just relax. Actually, him and Rowan are very much the same in that. With that, it's it's like you think Liam's bad, Rowan's even worse.
Oh no, we know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know.
I think that for Rowan, I think we understand that it's from the perspective that he doesn't like being like emotionally triggered by so many things because it overwhelms him. So it's
Yeah.
understandable why he tries to control it. And I think, well, now that I say it out loud, I think it's similar with Liam too, but it's not to that extent. I think it's just like he's tired of people being people. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, Liam's the one who keeps it bottled up whereas Rowan, he will just come out and say it.
You say it to your face.
Yeah, you can clearly see it on his face and whatever, he can't hide it.
He has a loud ass face. He sure
And then
does.
here's Liam who hides it very well. And he just like goes off and disappears in a corner somewhere. So, I don't know. It's, again, I'm sure becoming a teenager is hard because I remember becoming a teenager. Honestly, I don't remember it being that hard because I was already like a semi-adult having to babysit you guys and stuff like that. So in a way, I don't remember becoming a teenager in a way.
Because you lost your youth. You didn't become a teenager.
No.
You were just a kid, and then you became half an adult.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. So, yeah, for me, I didn't really have a teenage portion of my life because I was busy being a second mom to my siblings. So, I guess in a way, I'm trying to give my son a kind of like somewhat of a childhood or somewhat of like a teenagehood type thing where I didn't get to have, but then he's a boy, so I don't know quite what teenage boys want to do.
Or like what they go through.
Or what they go
understand.
Yes. I mean, I kind of have an idea what they go through because, I had brothers, but, since he's mine, it's kind of like, I don't know what to do or what I should do type thing to like help him. So, I don't know.
I guess just like continue. Like, I think, regardless of boy or girl, I think that when you're in your teenage years, there's going to be, which I know you're going to know, there's going to be a lot of pushback at one point, and that, and some hurtful things might be said, but you're going to have to be as patient and gracious as you can. Because he will eventually, because you taught him and raised him well, he'll eventually come back and kind of like, I'm sorry, I was like a jerk. Because I look back too in my teenage years and I was like crazy. I was like, dang. Sorry, mom and dad. Just because like, when you're in your teenage years, everything is so high strung. Your emotions, your friends, your school, like,
Yes.
it's like literally your life.
Yeah. I think, I am telling myself to be patient because I think with our generation of parenting, I think a lot of us are more aware of the fact that when kids become teenagers, there's a whole new set of hormones. So that's going to make them like swing back and forth with their attitudes and stuff like that. So I think that helps us be a little bit more patient with it and to kind of help your teenager along with that, with those feelings and stuff. So hopefully it's not too hard or too horrible and that we don't end up messing him up in any way. But yeah, I mean, the only reason why I see him as a teenage can kind of see him as a teenager is because of how much he's grown physically. Because like he's gone taller, he's slimmed out, he is focused on his physical health.
Yeah, I remember the beginning of this year, he was like, I'm shorter than the rest of my friends, and he was kind of like short and stumpy, and then towards the end, you're kind of like, you grew out of that so freaking fast. Puberty hit you really fast.
I was looking at the first day school picture of his, and he was so meaty.
Yeah. He was really meaty.
Yes, and then now that I look at him, he's just kind of like, doop, string bean, almost.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, oh my God. It's like, Jesus. Like, I don't know what to do.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's kind of like, dang, we gotta take him shopping because none of his clothes fit, even though he keeps claiming that they still fit. And I'm like, no, they do not fit.
Put the shirt on. Put your arms
I was
up.
thinking about his like tank top.
Yes.
At one time, is that what you were thinking about too? I'm sorry, Liam. I love you, but I'll let your mom tell you. It's too shy on you. I can't. I don't have the heart to tell you. Like, you should probably change into a different shape.
Yeah.
Or when we were finding a deodorant for him, he's like, "Do I smell?" And I'm like, "No, but you will." It's like,
It's not like back in the day where you smelled and then you washed yourself and it was gone.
yeah.
It's gonna linger.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, it's better that you prevent it now and
Yeah.
do a good
Learn personal
hygiene,
hygiene.
hygiene
when you-
routine.
When you get older and you go around other people, you will understand.
Yeah. You'll know.
You'll know what we're
You'll
talking about. Because when you're growing up and you become an adult, there are some things that you can't get rid of that like with water that quick.
Or like you just recognize more smells in the world, and you're like, oh, that's how you. Okay, so now I know what to do.
Yeah.
And then if you're interested, whenever you're interested in in the opposite sex, they tend to like certain smells.
Yes, that's the cheat code.
Yeah.
That's the cheat code for him. Hopefully, years from now. I'm like,
I'm gonna say it's gonna be next year when he
Shut
walks
up.
into the 8th grade center.
think
It's
so?
gonna. I feel like he's gonna be like, it's
About
different.
girls? Oh.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna finally hit him and be like, it's different. It's not. We're not kids anymore.
I'm just like waiting for the day where he would be like, he slowly starts to shift a little bit and like is interested in like intimate relationship, and I'll be like, oh my God. I'll be like, aren't you still 8?
Yeah. For real.
Wait for another 8 years, maybe.
Oh, that's so funny. Because, like, I know he's talked to me and Chow about, like, how he had helped one of his friends get a girl. So, like, he was being a wingman or whatever. And so we were giggling, and me and Chow were, like, looking at each other and, like, so do you have a girl you fancy? And he's like, no. No, I'm just helping my friend and her, this and that. And then, like, a week later, he comes and tells us that they broke up.
Oh.
And we're like, what? He's like, yeah, I don't get it. He didn't even tell me why they broke up. It's so
It
stupid.
probably just didn't work out.
That reminds me, side note, of another TikTok video I saw. And I guess, like, some guys don't go into detail like that with each other.
Okay. But then again, okay.
But he was
Knock
raised by
on wood.
women.
When I was talking to my boyfriend about this, because
Knock on wood. Oh.
I'm just saying, because back in the day when he's around Liam's age, he thought he was the shit,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Remember you telling me that
Yes, he thought he was the
confidence,
shit.
his ego
and
taller than him, I'm guessing?
Yeah, and then he said that since he thought he was the shit, he knows that he would be able to get any girl that he would want to get.
Okay.
And so basically he was hoeing around by middle school kind of thing.
Yeah, it sounds
And
right at that
so-
age, though.
And so he would try to get any girl. And so in my head, when Liam said that his friend probably broke up within like however time span it was, it's probably because his friend didn't get his way.
Yeah.
And so because of that, he kind of just broke it off.
Well, hopefully it's a lesson learned from him,
Yeah.
because that could turn dangerous in the future.
Because that's probably
Yeah.
what the mentality is with, I think, the boys over there. Apparently, because that's how my boyfriend's mentality was at that age.
Well, at least he realized now that he was crazy.
Yeah, because he was like, yeah, if I thought this girl was pretty and I could get her, then I'm going to go get her.
I mean,
And
the
I'm just
confidence
like-
is great.
And I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay. But I'm just like, you crazy.
Confidence is great. Let's turn that energy like into a productive one.
Yeah. Productive.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, that's what I was like, that's probably what his friend thought. But I don't know. I could be wrong. But
I don't know.
I just think that, back to what Michelle was saying, that it's such an interesting take that he said that his friend didn't say why they broke up. Because he obviously understands from a female's perspective, because your household is obviously run by you, so he's gonna learn a lot more and have more insight than most young boys will. So the fact that he said he didn't explain why, like most boys would just be like, yeah, they broke up and that's it.
Yeah, I think that's how a lot of videos on like Instagram and TikTok, there were like the wives and the husbands talking, and the husbands would be like, yeah, so and so got a divorce, or like so and so got engaged, and the wife's kind of like, well, how do you do it? And the husband's like, I don't know, I didn't ask him about that.
yeah, I've asked.
And the wife's is like,
Yeah.
so like, what was the ring? Like, how did it look like? How did he do it? And then asking all these questions, and the
Whose
guys are
fault
just
was it?
like,
Yeah.
the guy's just like, I don't know, I didn't ask.
You didn't ask? Yeah, Yes.
That's right, keep going, Molly.
Oh, I was gonna say because I asked Rod about that too. I was like, is just it a guy thing that you guys just don't budge your guy friends about details about stuff? He's like, yeah, no, we respect our boundaries, and we just, if they want to tell you, then they'll tell me. But if they don't want to tell me, then I was like, okay, I respect that. I don't want to.
Nah, if
Plunge
I'm
in.
your friend, I'm gonna poke you.
I think it depends on how close they are, because I think it's kind of sad that some guys, so I think, okay, in all honesty, I think some guys don't know what to do or how to say or how to, that they can open up. They just think like that's it.
Yeah.
But there are some guys that do go into detail. And when I think about that, I don't know why, but your brother, Mitchell, just, that's in my head. Like, he is definitely, from the way he talks and everything, is from like a female perspective. Like,
he wants the tea. He asks questions.
So that's good.
Yeah, he wants to know the dirty dirt.
I was like, his wife has you guys and mom to thank.
Yeah.
Because he is like a really good example that like that feminism had a really good impact on him, an impression, I should say.
Yeah.
Because the way he talks, he really understands, and he picks up the nonverbal and stuff. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Because I realized that now thinking about it, I'm like, that's Mitchell.
Yeah, he likes tea. He's nosy as F. Like,
Well,
oh my God.
Yeah, but then that's why he probably has a better grip on like emotion and mental well-being, or at least like maturity wise.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought that was funny.
That's how I was like, because my boyfriend would tell me like stuff about his friends too, and I'm like, did you ask him about this and this and this? He's like, no, why would I want to ask him that? And I'm like, so you can tell me what's happening. You're telling me this, but then you're not telling me the details of how it became that. And he's like, well, why would I want to ask him when he only gave me a little bit of info? And I'm like, okay, I respect it. You don't want to tell me the rest of it. I'm like, no, that's why you pry it out of them.
Yeah, that's why you say, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. But I am
since
open.
we dug into this category.
I mean, like gossiping, it some of it is bad, but it's also really good, because that's how like us girls really vent, and like that's how we, like, what's that word?
That's
like,
how we trust another, because it
trust,
shows vulnerability with each other.
Yeah.
Trust, but also it does really help each other out. Like, that's why we live longer and everything too. It's because like we share our problems, or we share our joys and everything together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then like most guys, like if they do know how to, great, but some of them don't know how to like talk about that.
Yeah.
And they kind of struggle.
Yes. So sometimes they do need somebody to pry, because they don't know that they can open up.
Yeah.
So that's why with us being nosy as hell, but genuinely care as well, we always pry.
Yeah. That's why I always tell like Michael, and I'm always like, you can't expect somebody to be vulnerable with you if you're not vulnerable with them.
Yep.
You know, you guys can't just be two walls facing each other and expect one to like open up to each other. You know, you can't expect respect from somebody when you yourself are not doing it. Does that make sense?
It's not mutual.
Yes.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you have to be the first one to
Break the
show
ice.
that, you know?
That's like I forgot whose birthday. Was it Michael's birthday? No, someone's birthday with the water slide at mom and dad's.
It's
And
Michael's
I
It's
brought,
Michael.
I brought my boyfriend over, and then
Yeah.
afterwards he's like, "Yeah, I can tell. Your brothers were looking at me like they wanted to talk, but they didn't know how to." He's like, "So I kind of had to step in and say something."
Yeah, and start stuff.
And I was like, "Yeah, that's them for you. They have a hard time starting.
They're shy
combos."
girlies.
It's like as much as our dad forced us into like into the public eye and like situations and stuff like that,
Yeah.
we just
We
no.
we only do it when we need to, when it's like last.
I'm
has to
sorry.
do
I'm
it.
just thinking in my mind. I'm like, that's mom and you guys. Like I can visually see like when dad makes you guys do those things. It's like I visually see when he like drags mom to go do stuff, and then when you guys are done, I can see visually like her pulling away like. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that's enough.
I would
That's all
say
you'll get from me.
Yeah, I would say probably the most extroverted one would probably be Mitchell.
For yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. I
Yeah.
I
Mitchell would be the most
Yeah, because he'll
extroverted
be,
one.
because my boyfriend would be jokingly, he's like, "Yeah, I can tell your guys' household is very run by, by your sisters," and I'm like, "Yeah, I guess," and he's like, "Yeah," and then like, he's like, "There's not enough testosterones around in the men," and I was like jokingly,
There is. It's
and I was like, "Yeah," I was
It's
like,
us.
"Sorry, we took all the testosterone over here."
It's us, yo.
Oh my
It's
God.
like, yeah, sorry, but he's just like, yeah, it's just what I've learned, what he's observed, is that they're very to themselves, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, that's how it usually is. So
I mean, we're getting a little sidetracked, but it also made me like reflect that your guys' household is an outlier to most Hmong families because they
Yeah.
are run like how your boyfriend usually
where the
prefer.
men is the
men
one
is
in
the one
charge.
in charge.
Yes,
You know?
that's why it threw him off whenever he's over here
Yeah.
all the time.
So I was just thinking like, yeah, it is. I hope you guys understand that your guys' family is really like a trailblazer. Like it's really different from all the other families.
Which is probably why we scare people off.
Yeah.
honestly.
But it's a good thing because if they can't handle you guys, then it's not worth it.
Yeah, like, this kind of reminds me of my conversation that I had with my friend last night, and I was saying how I think I've talked about this before. Like one of my ex-boyfriends told me that I was like spoiled,
Okay.
you know, because like how like because you know dad would like he would try to make it like a goal of his to like buy his child's first car for them,
Yeah.
you know, and like I told that to my ex-boyfriend at the time, and he was like, "Wow, Melissa, you're so spoiled." You know, and I was like, and at that time, I kind of took it like offense to it because I was like, you know, I'm not
As you
spoiled.
should. As you should.
Yeah, like I'm not spoiled. And then nowadays, I was talking to my friend about it yesterday, and I was like, damn, I should have been mean with my Aquarius stuff and be like, just because my dad loves me and your dad doesn't mean that you can say that to me. Okay?
Yeah.
My dad loves me. Okay.
For real. Wow.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, makes me wonder if he was just jealous or envious.
Yeah, because
of
he was
you.
all like, because I remember my ex-boyfriend, he was like, well, I have to work for mine. I have to, like, if I want a car, I have to work at it to get my own car. And I'm like,
sorry?
okay. What
It's
do you
like,
want me to do about
yeah,
that?
it's like-
I'm sorry.
That's how your dad set it up, so
Yeah.
can't help with that.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
Sorry,
that my dad thought.
loves me. Sorry that my dad's better than yours.
For real.
Literally
Sorry.
what she's saying.
No.
Sorry, my dad actually came back from what is that they kids say? Came back after they got milk.
Yeah, something like that. Like, at least my dad came back with milk, okay?
Yeah,
With the milk.
your dad didn't. Sorry, not sorry. Maybe sorry, my dad hugged me more than yours.
For real. I was like,
I'm just thinking about all the
Dang.
various things that would say. Sorry, my dad actually loved me. He wants me to do well.
Yeah.
Came back
Wow.
after getting milk.
But yeah, sorry. Keep going. I just thought that was funny. That reminded
Wow,
me
we
of.
got sidetracked, but
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
I wanted us to also talk about, like, our experiences as well when we were like early teens and stuff like that. because yeah, I just wondered, because I know I wasn't always present when you guys turned 13, because by then I was just trying. What is it? I had my car, so I was gone the whole time.
I like to think that that's when you did have your rebellious teenage
Yes.
years, though.
Yes, that's when I turned 15, 16, and Dad got me my car. I was out. I was gone. I was literally never home because it was freedom for me. So it was just like I was always gone, whether it was with friends or with chow. But like 90% of the time, it was always the chow.
I think you were already married when I was in my 13 years.
When you turned 13? Yeah.
Yes,
you
I
were
was.
already out and married already. So
I was already married.
yeah.
Wow.
So she wasn't even in the house the whole time. That whole time.
It just made me think, like you saying that you were never home, because my older brother also had a rebellious stage like that. Not me, because I was a rule follower. Boo! But like literally everybody in my family, I think except for my younger sister, we were boring. Boo! Tomato, tomato. But anyway, so it makes me wonder, because like, is running away normal? Because like, I would be so afraid, like just thinking about being in the perspective of a parent, and you give and you provide everything to your kid, but then it's a canon event for them to be rebellious, so they run away. Like, what do you do? It's not that you don't give them a place to stay and eat, but like being someone who's lived through my teenage years, like I think logically running away is because you're trying to figure out yourself. You're trying to outlive your potted plant that you're in. So like running away, it would be like, I would take it really hard as a parent. I would be like, damn, what did I do wrong? But really, we don't know. It might not even be your fault. It's just them figuring out themselves.
Oh no, mine was very much my parents' fault.
Oh yeah, well, that's a given.
Whenever I did run off, yes, it was because I was pissed off at my parents. Okay, it had nothing to do with me. I mean, it did, because yes, I was trying to find myself, but I was so, in my mind, oppressed by my parents that I didn't see any other way out except to leave that place, is to run off, because I got so tired of being, locked down over the smallest things. It's like, it's not like I was going out to go party, do drugs, go steal, or join a gang or anything. That's what I couldn't understand, why they were the way they were, because it's kind of like, I'm a good kid, I'm not doing anything bad, yet you're sitting here with your foot on my neck. Yes, on my neck, as if I'm going to go do that. So I got tired of it and I left and I ran off. So personally, I think if your kid does run away, majority of the time it's your fault as a parent. Because I think, now that I'm a parent, it's like, I think the kids can go find themselves without having the need to run away.
Or like like kind of like our house wasn't a safe place for us, so
Yes.
therefore once we were able to go out, we went out, kind of thing.
So, oh yeah, go ahead.
Because growing up, again, kind of like how I was talking about in the other episode, where our parents just wasn't our safe place. It was always, we were literally, we felt like, or at least for me, I felt like I was alone for a while, because no matter what I did, let's say if it was between me and somebody else and we got into an argument, my parents were never on my side. It was always
Yeah.
the other person's side. So therefore, I learned at a really young age that, like, I'm alone. And so therefore, since you see your parents like that, therefore the house is like that. And so, unlike parents nowadays where they're like, as long as you're able to feel safe and come back home, then that's fine. You know, you're always welcome home. But like with our parents, I don't think that's how we felt. And so that's why we always try to like
Stay away,
leave
yeah, from the house as
kinda
long as
thing.
possible.
because the house was what was like killing us a little bit because we weren't really allowed to do anything in the house. So like I'm kind of like with Michelle, where when I went to college at Talcol with you, I remember that we were having, I forgot what we were doing, but I think we were planning a party or something, and it was like my first like party without my family there. And I think you were like, yeah, I'm gonna invite Michael. And I was like, why are you gonna invite Michael? You know, because I was like kind of like Michelle, where this is my freedom, like I get to go and do what I want to do without any of my siblings there. And I remember when you said, well, I'm gonna invite Michael, I was kind of like, really?
You're
Why?
ruining this for me, yeah.
Why are you gonna invite my brother? Now I can't like be the way I want to be because my brother is gonna be there, kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I think that's where mine came later in my life. And so that's where I'm like, I kind of agree with Michelle, where you kind of want to go out and do your own thing and
Be
stuff like
yourself, find yourself,
Yeah.
you know, because you're so, again, you're imprisoned in your own home,
that. Yeah.
you know, because your parents think they're doing the best for you by keeping you away from the real world where it can corrupt you, when
Yeah.
really you're just imprisoning them in the house, and therefore your children will despise you even more.
So then that means, like, in theory, if things are ideal, then the home is a safe place, and then they wouldn't really leave. They wouldn't go anywhere.
Correct.
Yeah, I would say so. Like if they're able to come out of their room and lay out with you and kind of just exist with you, I think you're doing a good job.
Oh my god, that's like a TikTok thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's like the living room kids. Do you have living room kids or do you have bedroom kids?
Yeah. And so I think if they are able to come out and like lay around with you and just exist with you in the living room, I think you're doing a good job because they don't have to shut themselves away from you and the world kind of thing. Because I feel like we were probably bedroom kids a little bit.
You guys were bedroom kids.
Yeah. And then we would come out into the living room to like watch movies and stuff like that together. But like I think in theory, I think we were like towards our teenage years and stuff, it was a lot of staying in our bedrooms. And
Yeah.
so,
Yes. That's why, going back to what I was saying, it's like if you don't make your home environment, if you don't make it hard to be in your home, then your kids don't have a reason to run away. Whereas if the home is constantly like a battleground, then of course they're going to want to run away from that. So, like I said, for my personal area, the reason why I ran off is because of my parents. You know, I wasn't trying to find myself. I can like 101% tell you that I was not trying to find myself when I ran off. Okay, I ran off because of my parents, because I could not stand them anymore. So I left. So, so in my perspective, like I said, and like what Liz said, if your home is a safe haven for your kids, then there should not be a reason for them to run away.
yeah. Or like when they have that security of, oh, it's okay, I can always ask my parents to help me. Like we didn't have that security. You know, because again, growing up, it was always, if something bad happened, it was always our fault.
Yeah.
So therefore, we didn't have that security.
Yeah.
So I always envied people who are like, oh, it's okay, I can ask my dad for money, or oh, it's okay, my dad will help me, or my mom would help me, or, you know, just they had that foundation, that solid foundation. If they fail at everything, then their parents are there to help them. Versus us, where we're kind of like, oh shit, like I'm fucked.
Yeah.
You know, like people say, like, when you get into a car accident and your first thought should be, like, I forgot what it was, but with us, like, when we got into a car accident, our first thought is, shit, dad's gonna kill me.
Yep.
Instead of thinking, like, more positive stuff, I guess
At
you
least I
can say.
didn't die. kind of
Yeah,
thing.
you know, like, at least I didn't die, but in reality, we were more scared of, shit, dad's gonna kill me.
We were more scared of our dad compared to the cops.
Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So if that paints a picture to any of y'all listeners, we were more afraid of our dad
Yeah.
than we were of the police
Yeah.
during that stuff.
Or getting yelled at than our own lives, you know? And so I'm not saying, like, my parents were horrible. Okay, they're not.
No.
But it's just, I don't know how to explain it.
It was hard growing up because with our parents being the generation that fled from the war, they did the best with what they could and what they knew.
Yeah, which was, like, survive and protect.
Yes, survive and protect, you know. But as kids, we didn't see that. But now as adults, we do. However, they could have done it in a better way. But of course, that's neither here or there now since it's in the past.
Yeah.
But, you know, nowadays, like I said, with our generation, it's just better. It can be better. It should be
Yeah.
better.
We know better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
It's just like I'm still in the middle of like watching the When Life Gives You Tangerines drama.
Oh, yeah.
There's a quote that says that nobody is the bad guy in the drama because everybody is just living life their first time.
Yeah.
And that the parents struggle with feeling like they don't provide enough for the kids, while the kids struggle with feeling like they never were given enough. So it's like a constant like battle
yeah.
between. Yeah. So I was just thinking about what you were saying about, you know, like with what they had and the tools that they had to raise you guys. That's the best that they could do. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So those who are listening, we're not always bashing our parents, okay? Our parents are actually really, really loving
Yes.
and caring.
They
Okay.
realize that after
Yeah.
they meet certain people, and certain people share stories, and they're like, "Wow, our life was not bad."
Yeah, and again, when Anna comes in and she shows us her perspective of our family, we're kind of like, oh, I never thought about it that way before.
Yeah.
Yeah, some
So-
bitches have it real good, and they just don't. I gotta stand up for this. They don't
can't
realize what they have until it's gone.
Yeah.
You can't blame us as
I know.
kids though, because
It's still
we
harsh.
it was harsh, and it was like a prison to us. So we are basically prisoners looking out into the world that we want to be a part of, right? And so, of course, we see that, but the outside people don't see us as that, you know, type of
Yeah.
way. So, to each their own of their like traumas and stories and stuff like that. But this is just our experience, you know, and how it's helped shaped me to be a parent that doesn't make my children suffer.
It's kind of hard to not have them suffer though, because there's
Right.
like there's things in the world, because no trauma is too little. People will go through certain things.
Right. Right.
But I think that I feel like it's kind of like a scale kind of deal, like or not scale, but like a spectrum. Like either it's like really really good, okay, or really really bad. And I feel like as long as you kind of like lean towards like the good side or try to, I think that's the best that you can do, because like knock on wood, but because you provide everything for your kids, who knows if like when they get older they're like, well, you never challenged me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's always something,
Right.
being too strict didn't give enough freedom, too much freedom didn't give enough boundaries, or blah blah blah. So you can just do what you believe is best and give them an opportunity to figure it out themselves, I think
Mm-hmm.
would be like the best way, and open communication.
Yes, that's that's one thing I try to implement in being a parent is letting them know that it's okay for them to come to me for anything, whether just to chit chat, whether to ask for help, whether it's something to do with life, friends, or just even homework, because believe it or not, like whenever Liam would have issues like with his math homework, he would come to me and ask for help.
Let's Google it. Let's YouTube it.
Yeah. And like a good 70% of it, I remember how to do it, so I'm able to help. But then the other 30%, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I can't help you there, dude. You're gonna have to Google it or go ask your teacher or a tutor. So yeah, I want them to be comfortable to come to me for anything. Because I didn't have that growing up. So as long as I can at least instill that into them, I'm fine. I'm happy, because I want them to know that I'm always here. So. But yes, so hopefully my 13-year-old will keep that in mind for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I think just him still coming to you, I still think that just means that you guys are doing a good job.
Yeah, that's true.
That he's still coming to you. I mean, yeah, he hangs up in his room playing video games, but he comes back out
Yeah.
to mess with his brothers. It's not one of those he's always constantly in there and you never see him.
Yeah.
Like those Japanese movies.
Yeah.
Have piles and piles of food.
That reminds me of my older brother whenever he finally got a computer, and that's when Google first came out and stuff like that, because he had one of the very first Gmails, and he was it was like a running joke, which is kind of sad, that he would always be, if you can't find him, he's by his computer.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of like what Melissa said, he's still coming to you and talking to you, because for my brother, when he was in his teenage years, you would never hear from him, and he never talked to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah,
that
or
you're doing that.
they only come out
to eat.
but they'll
Yes.
wait until you guys are sleeping or something, and then they'll come out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm so he comes out a lot. So that's where I'm I think you guys are doing a good job with him.
Give yourself more credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if you don't, and especially about your kid, because if you know about your kid, I think that you're already doing good already.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, then it's kind of
Yeah.
At least he's not yelling yet to be like, get out!
oh yeah,
Oh, God.
Close the door!
oh yeah. That reminds me of last night when we were playing games with my family, and one of my nieces is the same age as him, and you hear on the on Discord, they're getting ready to go have dinner, and they're gonna try. She's trying to leave, and she goes, and she has really young sisters,
Yeah.
and they all want to play on her computer, and all of a sudden you hear, all right, guys, let's all leave my room as a family. As a family. Don't touch my computer. Let's leave as a family. As a family. Hey, guys. Guys. So, yeah.
I can see her being like a bird and be like, hey.
Yeah.
Going around.
She does do that. She goes, hey, let's go. Come on.
It's so funny. I can't picture her that way because I'm so used to seeing her when she was younger.
Little.
Yeah, little. So when you tell us stories like that, it's oh my God.
Her voice is deeper, too.
Yeah.
So it's funny. She's like, hey, guys.
Yeah, when we went to the Renaissance Fair and I heard her talk, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's a girl. She's a
woman.
teenage girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
No, it's a running joke. My older brother's he shared this one video, and the way she talks is such a teenager, and it's a content creator, whoever, they made a video where it's Pav, you have a teenage daughter, and then it's the guy going, whatever, yeah, okay, they're saying stuff like that.
Yeah.
And because she does kind of talk like that. And then she goes, I don't talk like that, guys. And I was like, yes, you do.
Yes.
Oh my God.
She talks like
Tina?
no, is it LSP, yeah.
Oh, LSP.
Talks like LSP.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. It'll be okay, is what I tell myself with him becoming a teenager and growing up, and then soon he'll be driving.
Oh,
Yeah.
girl,
Oh my
just give
God.
yourself a couple years before you think about that. You can barely come to terms with him reaching puberty and all that stuff. So
I know. So, yeah.
Just take him go-karting just to see his skills.
bruh. I think it'll be fine.
That's true. That's how we learned how to drive. Go-karting,
Go-karting.
and the driving arcade games.
Honestly.
Oh, and the lawnmower.
Honestly, yeah, the
I never
lawnmower
rode the
probably
lawnmower.
would help him.
But you
Oh,
guys
really?
don't-
Yeah, I don't
No,
cut the
remember
grass.
lawn mowing was...
Wow, spoiled brat. That's
Lawn
First of
mowing
all,
was
I was cleaning the house. I wasn't
yeah,
cutting
I
the
know,
grass.
they told us that was the boys'
Yeah.
job.
And so we didn't cut the grass.
So
I
we,
didn't cut the grass.
we didn't cut the
Oh,
grass.
no, I did.
I was an indentured servant, so so no, I did everything.
Like, we didn't cut the grass, but we went to go collect the grass.
Collect the grass,
Collect
put the
it for
branches
fertilizer,
in.
or
Just,
just
bag
to
it up and throw it away.
Clean it
Just
up,
to
yeah,
clean
and
it
throw it away.
Oh.
Because if you
Yeah.
leave it mounds like that around there, it attracts like bugs and mosquitoes.
Oh,
Yeah, so we would have to go out, sweep all that shit,
Put it in
wow.
put it into
bags,
bags,
put it
and
out on the
it was a whole
side.
family thing when we mowed the lawn, and I'm just like,
It's so
Jesus.
cute though if you think about it.
Yeah,
At the time, you hated it because it was probably hot and you're all sweaty.
yeah.
But a lot of stuff that I look back and we did as they did things like cleaning and stuff as a family, I really didn't. I consider it nostalgic.
The worst one was when we had to go pick that freaking thorny tree.
yeah, the lemon lime leaves.
Oh, yeah.
I
no.
hated that.
That was
Ow!
Because
It
they
was
were like,
annoying.
Melissa, go pick this. So and so's coming to go to pick it up, and I'm like,
Why don't they come pick it up
yeah,
themselves?
they go pick
Yeah.
it, not me.
My sister, Sammy, she hates that tree. She goes, "Do you guys still have it in front?" No, they moved it like. I think she asked me when it started to get cold and the frost was out. So I told her, I was like, the frost isn't completely over yet, so it's still in the garage. And
Yeah.
she goes, I hated that plant tree. And I was like, we do too.
Yeah,
Like,
We get
it meant, it's
stabbed
like
by
at
it.
least you didn't have to pick
Yeah.
at it.
She did have to, I think, a couple times or
Oh,
to help.
yeah. It was like 3 or 4 of us on around one tree
You know, it hurts.
picking at it, and then if one person moves a tree, it hits the other person up top.
Yeah, we're always like, hold the branch. Like, you're picking, okay? So the whole tree doesn't move.
And we'll just purposely go. You know.
So,
I think you and Chow need to, especially you, need to give yourself credit. You guys are doing great, and that he's still talking with you guys.
Yeah.
And just make sure to document everything, like video and pictures, because just like earlier this year, like what Melissa said, that he's growing,
Mm-hmm.
and that way you can at least capture it.
oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I'm like, dang, we don't have any home videos. Like, I don't have any videos of Liam besides what shows up on my memories in Snapchat. And I'm like, I don't have any videos. Like, oh my God, we can't go back and like watch home
I've-
videos like we do now.
No,
You know?
nowadays, since we do it on our phone, we would have to go back and like stitch all the videos together
Yeah.
in some way, and then that's our home video.
Home video. And I'm
You gotta
like,
start
"Ah,
creating
so
that album,
sad."
put
Yeah.
it together.
Unless we go vintage and somebody go buy a video
A
recorder.
little mini one.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yes, I will officially have a 13-year-old in a few days, so that's scary but exciting at the same time. It's like a new adventure, pretty much for me, for all of us, actually.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if any of you listeners are mothers and you have teenagers, you know, let us know. Let me know how it's going, or if you have little ones and you have fears or whatever that they're going to be teenagers soon. You know, talk to us about it. It'd be fun to hear from you guys. So, but pretty much this is the end of my episode about my teenage son in a few days. So we will catch you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.